Yeah, I wanted to testify from my own platform here on in cyberspace about Washington Bill SB, the right to repair bill. Let me just pull up my notes here to exactly which bill. Sorry, I forgot it off the top of my head. It's SB. Um, Let me pull this back up here. SB 5799, the right to repair in the Washington bill. Um, so I wasn't able to make it out there ultimately, but I'm a sub to Louis Rossman in particular, especially because of the fact that he makes videos that are highly critical of Apple as a group. And you see what that ultimately is. Um, Part of the reason why I had been so interested in learning how to use it for years and years and years was because way back in way back in the day, I knew that in order I had to I had to track down a pre-modified PlayStation in order to pirate video games, and I started talking to independent repair shops to see about modifying an OLED Switch, and I found that those guys didn't want to do the work. They weren't willing to actually do it. So it got me thinking about how hard it was to find a mom and pop shop that would actually cooperate with a Nintendo like that about modifying an OLED Switch with the new H-Fly, or HW chips that fly, I think, or whatever it is exactly, with these things to actually modify an OLED Switch. And it got me thinking too that modifying those damn things pre-modified, and if I can get them up and running, I can actually make money like it's a trade in modifying OLED switches, and so I didn't want to start off the gate by, investing that much money ultimately in modifying switches right away. But what I wanted to do was see if I can cobble together some electronic devices myself with this damn thing and get a small scale project going. Now, I'm a little bit low budget and a bit broke, so it's going to be a while before I have every tool and part I need assembled ultimately for this thing. But the soldering iron, here is my first soldering iron. It's my beginner's soldering. It's the very first one I've ever had, and I got it off of Amazon ultimately, and I want to learn how to do it myself. That way, the next time I want to do something like install a chip that circumvents the copy protections that um, are in, Apple, or not Apple, but Nintendo, the PlayStation, or any of those places, I can just do it my fucking self. And I wanted to say that there were people that testified on behalf of, the trade consortium, of these video game companies that are against this bill, on the basis that they are very concerned that this will enable people to circumvent their copy protections. I wanted to say this was a stupid concern because their copy protections are doomed anyways, and I'm skilling up in that direction, and there's nothing that anybody can do to stop me. Plus, this video was produced behind a VPN and uploaded to YouTube, so it appears to be coming from Paris, where I'm not. I'm on the other side of the world from Paris, so you having, anonymizing technology in order to fuck up the IP address, lanes, so that people don't exactly know where the IP is actually coming from. And the guys that I contract with are also had their claims tested in a court of law, so that when they are subpoenaed, they don't have any actual information that is useful about who was using it at what time to hand over to the pigs when they come knocking on the door, demanding to know who exactly uploaded what at what time. So, catch me if you can, you fucking cockroaches. The truth of the matter ultimately, um, is that not only that, but I got smart enough and wiser. I had a little bit of money going. Uh, Z Null Pointer got a PlayStation 5 from me. I gave it to him over Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, I had saved up a bit of it in my wallets, and I sent it on to the hacker so that he could buy a PlayStation 5 from a scalper so that he could work on it. And, if you watch Modded Warfare and his channel and everything, it's clear that we're getting closer and closer and closer as the days go on in order to being able to play our pirated backup games on the PlayStation 5. You're welcome. These companies are doomed anyways, and it would be good to learn how to use it, because then I can start modifying devices, and people can pay me, or I can every switch that I actually modify, and get that chip in and I test and it actually works, is something that I can dump and sell on OfferUp or Craigslist or God only knows what. There's a whole bunch of them that I can. Etsy will take it, just fine. And that's some good money. And because it's a trade, you can scale it up as much as you can actually work. You can get paid for each and every one that you do. It's nice in that kind of way. I just didn't want to be tethered anymore to having to use an independent repair shop, because a lot of the time those guys don't, they're going to argue with you. Even though you're willing to pay them to do the work, they don't want to do the work because they know that you may be attempting to break the law. So I just decided to take matters into my own hands. SB, there is nothing that the opposition to this bill can do that will actually protect their copy protection. It's doomed either way.